So welcome to part 2 of building this mega boats. The struggle I went through to build this thing. It wasn't vint. So yeah, I'm just going to explain this part of the build, and this part of the build is where I did my hydraulic system, which you can do. It can be moving nicely, like you're seeing it move, but otherwise if you thought fabricating that frame or those joints or those connections were the struggle in this build, it wasn't. This was the part that truly took me through everything. I'm telling you, even the VIN2. This was parts that twisted my mind like mutu kubaba, so kuchitomwera kumapanado, because like I said, I was dealing with modifications when making this thing. Nothing was like straightforward to say, okay, you can use this here, you can use this there. These components, like I said, I sourced them from broken down machines. My equipment you see pa storage, yeah, some kind of junkyard storage, but nalangiza mu part 1 clip, yes. So that's where I got all these things from. They are from different types of machines, and here I'm trying to blaze to my fittings together so that maybe I can marry component yakuli ija machine na component yakuli, they come with different fittings, different pipes. So yeah, you have to do my modifications there. And yes, you can buy my fittings yari bueno. I am down here mapezeka, but like I said, I was running on zero budget. I was just working with whatever was available to me. Scrappy idea, so I had to do to my plan B, and this is me making my plan B. I'm a fittings manji. I had to brace some fittings so that the pipes I have na to my components I had to my DCV to jana ya my hydraulic cylinder and nakolangizani ya the ones I did some leg device whatever manufacturing and fabricating for years. So I had to make those connect to my hydraulic system, and to my fittings man, it need brazing up. We are doing a brazing kaneka street, yes, but because it's whatever we are doing is ni mai mwene, it's pangaweka, you know. I had to teach myself most of these things. By the way, I'm not an engineer like others are assuming. I never went to university or chanchana. I'm just a mere grade 12 in a grade 12 school. Even napeleka pa desk yam class yam grade 12. My highest qualification, educational level qualification, grade 12 certificate ya management pesa na auto-onsage. Yes, so whatever I'm doing here is self-taught. Taberenga kovani vijaya boza we learn from others. Takopelako pa internet, yes, until we get my concepts yakaena, yes. So yeah, when dealing with hydraulics, you have to be very careful because these liquids are always under high pressure. My hydraulic pumps vima pumping are like no man's business. And then, you know, like they say in hydraulic, although they say that no, a hydraulic pump does not create pressure. What creates pressure ni relief valve and my restrictions yama hoses, yes, wherever the pressure comes from, however it ends up building up and imangala high to the extent that if you're not careful, imangamba hydraulic imasebenza munga tuleza. So you have to be very careful in handling these things, and then when doing those to my fittings and everything, you have to make sure everything fits correct and you're using the correct types of fittings, because to my fittings to my bwera to siana, so that you don't experience my leaks when doing your connection. So what I'm doing there is I had to my DCVs to be there. 2 types of DCVs. And then these DCVs, I had to somehow make them work as one unit, receiving supply from one hydraulic pump, which I'm sad to report that it never worked out in the first session. I tried my best. It's what I was doing there. I was trying to make one pump supply 2 DCVs, and those DCVs, they were like units. In each DCV, there were 2 valves to be working for my 2 cylinders on the left and 2 cylinders on the right. So yeah, I was just trying to balance them up, but the issues I faced with hydraulic is stubborn, and I'm telling you. I tried to balance it out, but it just ended up giving me headaches and stuff, because what was happening is that one unit had a stronger relief valve compared to the other one. I tried adjusting kwa kutuchuna so that they balance out the pressures, but no, they could never work in unison. like whenever one was active, the other one had to remain dormant. Pressure yonse tabira kulija week 1 until that week 1 finishes whatever it was doing and then closes up. Then that's when the pressure would build up enough to open the to like run the other part of the unit. But when it comes to walking, since I wanted this thing to be responding to my legs, like in kanyamulako endo yaku left, it should work, whether yaku right pansi or kuti should respond. So I had to find a way to balance them out, and unfortunately inakosako, but I ended up finding a solution either ways. And the solution that I found is that luckily enough, the 2 units I was using were from two forklifts, but it was my mech yanalia same. They were the same mech, yes. So I took those 2 units apart. I had to use one relief system. Then I made them into a unit of four valves, yes. So instead of two I took them apart. I combined the two units in each one, then gave them just one relief valve, so they became a bunch yangaraya form, and you're going to see at the end of the video what I'm talking about. It will show, yes. So that's what I was doing there. Navutana nayo, I ended up taking it apart, which masura, then I bunched the 2 units together to make one unit, and thankfully it performed nicely inabura perform according to the way I want it to be functioning, yes. So that's what was happening here, and it was a struggle. This video is like fasted forward, like I don't know how many times, but otherwise this thing took me like, I think it's a day and a half just fighting with this. And then these many hydraulic hoses, whenever you get up, like pitana, otherwise in the concept is just four pipes, if I am to say, because like they are only my pipes yanialaninga kwenda kuma cylinders, which in most cases they are just labeled A and B. So A is just one pushes the actuators, the cylinders out like A, then B pushes the cylinders to go back in, but they can also work in vice versa. It doesn't mean that's the way they are. You can design, you can connect them according to your preference, the way you want them to be running. Yeah, so that's what was happening here. So all these pipes, technically they're just 4 pipes. There is 1 pipe for supply, 1 pipe for return, oil and DCV to be going back to the reserve tank. Then 1 pipe for supply, hydraulic pump. I'm going to work on the hydraulic pump and the engine in the next part. This was just me trying to sort out my connections, my hydraulics, to link them to my cylinders, mendo and all that, yes. So yeah, otherwise whatever pressure I faced here takula nayo my pressure. I've grown up with them, yes. We've been going through this like since we are the self-taught, yeah. Tunavizibira ku field mwaneo, it's like they say that experience is the greatest teacher, yes. So yeah, the pressure, we grow up with it, yes. So this thing, like I said, otherwise in the time frame I gave myself and the things I was facing and the limitations, again, food, because I had to work with what was there on the field, yes. So like there was one DCV which was like, it was performing totally the different. It was that one from the forklift which only takes up, it only creates pressure when taking it up my forks, yeah, but when bringing down it doesn't create pressure. It only relies on the force of gravity to force the oil back through the system package of my fork over. So in my case, I didn't want it. I wanted it to be providing the pressure, rather to be directing the pressure of the flowing oil in both directions. If I say up, it should provide for up. If I say down, it should provide for down. So I had to change the spook. Yeah, if you research this by YouTube, you understand mama actuators mama valve mangala to my spool, and the way those spools are machined, it's what determines where they direct the oil flow now moving on my rivers, yes. So I had to do that. That is what I was facing here, yes. So like I've been explaining, it was quite a challenge, but yeah, just applying the knowledge I've been gathering, I was able to do this one correct. Yes. So with regards of my questions and facing as you know, yeah, how does it work, yes, stuff like that. I know, yes, people are genuinely curious, just like I was me also. I asked the same question to myself when I was beginning this project, to say, but what is this project for? Like in chacha and chanen panga no panga chimajin chaka, what is it going to be doing? But yeah, I ended up just facing it to say, okay, fine. Yeah, I may not have the specific use for it, but anyways, it was something good to be challenging myself with, some kind of distraction, you know. Yeah, so this is the set that came out to be. Njetu jetunangala 34 to my actuators, I bunched them together and they were working tremendous.